Let this sink in for a moment. What really happens when a woman who thrives on control, validation, and attention deeply wounds the person who stood by her with loyalty and patience? Does she simply walk away untouched? Does life just move on as if nothing significant happened? Does the damage stay only on your side? No. When a narcissistic woman hurts someone who truly cared, something shifts. Not in a dramatic, loud way. Not in a way that everyone can see, but something real begins to unfold. Because you cannot consistently mistreat someone who showed up with honesty, loyalty, and emotional investment without consequences following in some form. In this video, you are going to understand 6 things that almost always happen when a narcissistic woman damages someone who gave her genuine love, respect, or support. Not because the universe is keeping score, not because of revenge, but because patterns create outcomes, and behavior always leads somewhere. Every tear you held back meant something. Every moment you questioned your own memory meant something. Every time you stayed silent, just to keep the peace shaped, you in ways you may not fully see yet. If you have been blamed unfairly, if you have been slowly worn down, if you have walked away confused, but still standing, this message is for you. What felt like destruction may actually be the beginning of clarity and strength. She looks completely fine. In the beginning, it may look like she walked away without any damage at all. She may seem steady, confident, and socially active. She might post smiling photos, reconnect with people, or start something new right away. From the outside, it can look like the relationship meant very little to her. That image can make you feel like you were the only one truly invested. While she appears settled, you are still trying to understand what happened. You are replaying moments in your head, thinking about what you said, what you missed, and what you could have done differently. You may feel shock, sadness, or even shame. Watching her move forward so easily can make you question your own value and judgment. It is important to understand that quick detachment is not the same as emotional strength. Many narcissistic individuals protect themselves by shutting down any feeling that threatens their self-image. Instead of reflecting, they redirect attention. Instead of sitting with guilt, they shift blame. Looking unaffected helps them stay in control of how others see them. She may also start telling a new version of the story. In that version, she is reasonable and misunderstood, and you are difficult or unstable. This protects her reputation and reduces the risk of criticism. If people accept her version, she does not have to face uncomfortable truths. Protecting image often becomes more important than protecting the relationship. You, on the other hand, are dealing with the emotional reality. You are not avoiding the pain. You are processing it. That process feels heavy because you were emotionally open. You cared. You believed in the connection. When someone who was emotionally invested gets hurt, the impact lasts longer because the attachment was real. Her calm behavior does not mean she is at peace. It means she is managing perception. Long-term growth requires self-examination, and that is something a narcissistic person often resists. Without accountability, patterns repeat. What you are feeling right now is painful, but it is part of healing. What she is doing may look easier, but it does not build stability. She loses a genuine emotional supply. You were not just another contact in her phone. You were the person who showed up consistently. You listened when she vented. You reassured her when she doubted herself. You helped smooth over problems she created. You carried emotional weight that most people would not carry for long. That level of steady support is not common, and it is not easy to replace. When you step back and stop responding the way you used to, the dynamic changes. She no longer has immediate access to your patience, your understanding, or your willingness to fix things. The attention becomes less predictable. The emotional safety net disappears. Even if she pretends not to care, the structure she relied on is no longer there. Emotional supply is not just about compliments. It includes your time, your reactions, your concern, and your effort. Every time you tried to explain yourself, calm her down, or prove your loyalty, you were feeding that supply. When you stop doing that, she feels the difference. The silence where your reassurance used to be becomes noticeable. At first, she may move quickly to fill the gap. She may talk to someone new, post more online, or surround herself with people who admire her. That can create short bursts of validation. But quick attention is not the same as long-term commitment. New people often see the red flags sooner because they have not built emotional attachment yet. Over time, she may realize that others do not tolerate the same behavior. They may question her. They may push back. They may refuse to take blame. The easy control she had with you does not automatically transfer to someone else. That is when the absence of your loyalty and consistency becomes more obvious. You were dependable. You tried to understand her perspective. You gave second chances. Many people will not do that repeatedly. That combination of patience and emotional investment is rare. When it is gone, it leaves a gap that cannot be filled by surface-level attention or short-term admiration. The quality of her relationships declines. Over time, emotionally healthy people start to notice certain patterns. They notice when conversations always turn into blame. They notice when their feelings are dismissed. They notice when apologies never lead to real change. At first, they may try to be patient. They may try to communicate clearly. But when the pattern continues, they begin to protect themselves. People with strong self-respect do not stay in situations where they are constantly confused or criticized. They do not accept being the problem every time something goes wrong. When they see manipulation or emotional inconsistency, they step back. That decision is not dramatic. It is protective. And once they leave, they usually do not return. As this repeats, the type of people around her slowly changes. Those who value honesty and mutual respect drift away. Those who remain may be more tolerant of unstable behavior or may struggle with their own boundaries. This does not happen all at once. It happens gradually, relationship by relationship. New connections may look intense and exciting. There is fast bonding, big promises, and strong emotion. But intensity is not the same as stability. When conflict shows up, the same habits return. Criticism increases. Responsibility shifts. The other person starts feeling drained. Eventually, distance grows again. When accountability is consistently avoided, trust cannot grow. Without trust, closeness becomes shallow. Conversations stay on the surface. Real vulnerability becomes rare. Over time, the relationships may continue, but they lack depth. They are built on temporary validation instead of mutual understanding. From the outside, it may appear that she is never alone. There may always be someone new, but constant replacement does not equal strong connection. It often signals that long-term bonds are difficult to maintain. The pattern keeps restarting because the core behavior does not change. She may try to come back when she loses control. There is often a turning point when your energy shifts. You are no longer obsessing over what she is doing. You are not checking your phone every few minutes. You are not replaying arguments in your head all day. You begin to sleep better. You start focusing on your responsibilities again. That quiet change inside you matters more than you realize. When you stop reacting, the dynamic changes. She no longer knows how to trigger you. She cannot predict your emotional response. That unpredictability removes the leverage she once had. If control was part of the connection, losing that control creates discomfort. It challenges the position she was used to having in your life. This is often when contact happens. The message may seem calm and friendly. It may reference good memories. It may sound reflective. Sometimes it includes partial accountability. Other times, it creates a small crisis that pulls at your empathy. The tone can vary, but the timing is rarely random. The outreach can create confusion. You may think she finally understands. You may feel hope rise again. After distance and silence, any attention can feel powerful. Your nervous system remembers the bond. Your mind remembers the good moments. That combination makes it easy to reopen the door. But real change requires consistent responsibility over time. It requires owning past behavior without shifting blame. It requires respecting boundaries, even when they are uncomfortable. A sudden return does not automatically mean those deeper changes have happened. Words can sound convincing without being supported by action. You begin to grow in silence. While she may continue doing what she has always done, something very different starts happening in your world. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. No one may even notice it at first. But inside, your thinking begins to shift. You stop focusing only on what she did and start looking at what you allowed, what you ignored, and what you accepted. You begin to see patterns more clearly. You remember moments when something felt off, but you brushed it aside. You recall times when your body felt tense during conversations, yet you told yourself it was nothing. That awareness can feel uncomfortable because it shows you where you betrayed your own instincts just to keep the peace. Growth often starts with honest self-evaluation. You realize how often you explained your feelings over and over, hoping she would finally understand. You see how much energy you spent trying to prove your loyalty. You notice how quickly you apologized just to end conflict, even when you were not the one at fault. This reflection is not about blaming yourself for her behavior. It is about understanding your role in the dynamic. When you see how much you overextended yourself, you begin to question why you felt responsible for her moods and reactions. That question opens the door to deeper change. You start learning what boundaries really mean. Boundaries are not threats. They are not punishments. They are clear limits that protect your emotional stability. You begin to understand that saying no does not make you selfish. It makes you balanced. Protecting your time and energy becomes necessary, not optional. This shift feels strange. You may feel guilt when you choose not to respond immediately. You may feel anxiety when you do not rush to fix someone else's problem. You may even doubt yourself and wonder if you are being too cold. But over time, that discomfort fades as your confidence grows. Clarity replaces confusion little by little. You no longer second-guess every decision. You become less reactive when someone tries to provoke you. You notice that you do not need constant reassurance to feel secure. That stability comes from inside, not from someone else's approval. This development does not need an audience. It happens when you decide to pause before answering. It happens when you walk away from conversations that feel disrespectful. It happens when you choose calm over chaos. These small decisions build strength steadily. Your pain turns into standards and strength. If you choose to heal on purpose, instead of just distracting yourself, something solid begins to change inside you. The pain does not just fade away. It starts teaching you. You begin to understand what you accepted before and why you accepted it. That awareness becomes the starting point for new standards that protect you moving forward. You stop normalizing behavior that made you anxious. You no longer tell yourself that constant criticism is just someone having a bad day. You stop labeling emotional chaos as excitement. When someone shifts blame or avoids responsibility, you recognize it faster. You do not need months to see the pattern. You see it early and you take it seriously. Your tolerance level changes in a healthy way. Before, you may have given endless chances because you believed loyalty meant staying no matter what. Now, you understand that loyalty does not mean sacrificing your mental stability. It does not mean shrinking yourself to keep someone comfortable. It means showing up honestly while also protecting your limits. You also become more comfortable with saying no. In the past, you may have over-explained your decisions because you feared being misunderstood. Now you realize that you do not need approval for every boundary. A simple, calm response is enough. If someone reacts badly to a reasonable limit, that reaction tells you more about them than about you. Your confidence becomes quieter but stronger. It is not loud or aggressive. It is steady. You trust your judgment more because you have seen what happens when you ignore it. You remember the early red flags you talked yourself out of. This time, you listen when something feels off instead of pushing the feeling away. Another shift happens in how you view conflict. You no longer rush to fix everything immediately. You understand that healthy adults can sit with discomfort and talk through problems without attacking each other. If someone refuses to communicate respectfully, you do not chase resolution at any cost. You understand that peace is more important than winning an argument. You also stop trying to prove your worth. In the past, you may have worked harder when you felt undervalued. You may have given more attention, more patience, and more effort, hoping it would finally be appreciated. Now you understand that the right people do not need constant convincing. Mutual respect is not something you have to earn through exhaustion. As your standards rise, your circle may become smaller. That can feel uncomfortable at first, but the connections that remain feel healthier and more balanced. Conversations feel calmer. Disagreements do not turn into character attacks. You notice the difference in your body as well. Less tension, less overthinking, more stability. If you have been through this kind of experience, you already know how disorienting it can feel. It can leave you doubting your judgment. It can make you question why you tolerated certain behavior for so long. It can shake your confidence in ways you did not expect. That impact is real, and it deserves to be acknowledged. But here is what is also real. You were capable of commitment. You were capable of patience. You were capable of emotional depth. Those are not weaknesses. Those are qualities that many people struggle to offer. The problem was never that you cared too much. The problem was that your care was placed in the wrong hands. What happened does not define your value. It reveals your capacity. It shows that you can love, support, and invest deeply. Now you simply know that those qualities need protection. They need boundaries. They need to be shared with someone who can meet you at the same level. The hurt may have slowed you down, But it also woke you up. You see patterns faster now. You trust your instincts more. You understand that peace matters more than proving yourself. That awareness changes the direction of your future in a powerful way. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are becoming more solid, more aware, and more selective. That is growth. That is strength. And that strength will shape every relationship you enter from this point forward. If you've watched until this point, thank you so much. If you'd like, please share your story in the comments below so we can connect and empathize with one another. Thank you, everyone.